Everyone, welcome back to Epic Love Video with Tobin Giblin and
Lorina Manzanita.
the ever beautiful, radiant goddess she is. So here we are today to talk about a very hot topic. I think both for us, for the people we work with in our counseling practice, our friends, we've been kind of bringing this up even at a party we were at today. And just,
so what's the hot topic,
The hot topic is how to have both freedom and a sense of security in a relationship.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be lovely?
The ultimate conundrum. And most people feel like it's either one or the other, right?
Yeah. I feel secure, so I create all these structures and agreements and understands expectations inside of a relationship. But then somehow I don't feel free in it.
Yeah, I abandon myself to keep the goodness and make sure I don't threaten things and make sure I'm not, potentially abandoned or potentially lose this amazing connection that I have. And that's a very all too common experience I think we have.
Pretty darn human and understandable.
And typically it's said that the masculine is more into freedom and the feminine is more into security and bonding and love. But I think we all have both of those in us completely. I know each of us have both of those.
For sure. And
everybody, again, I think this is a universal phenomenon that we all, on some level, want both to be free to be ourselves and that sense of, I can fully relax into the connection that we have. And so we want to just explore this really, really big topic. And we'll do it over the course of a few videos. But today we're just going to jump in and talk about just a couple of ideas.
Yeah.
And maybe we had the thought that I would talk about freedom.
As the male representative.
And how important that is and how to cultivate that, especially primarily within oneself, because that's really the key. As you come into a relating, what we've discovered is that the way to create a bond that has both freedom and security, you need to create that within yourself first.
Yeah. So I think that's the major takeaway. Like, in order to create something on the outside, relationships that reflect what we truly value, then it's really important to cultivate that experience within your own skin, within your own psyche.
Big time.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, but
Totally.
That's the invitation. If you don't get anything else from our videos, just take that and run with it fully 100% and your life will be radically transformed. So Lorina's going to talk a little bit about building security within. I'm going to talk a little bit about building freedom.
Yeah.
And then we'll bring that together as we have done for the last 5 years.
I'm laughing right now. I'm like, I feel a little insecure about doing this. So which brings up one point, which is the ability to name what you're experiencing without being totally identified and ruled by it. I feel that helps ground something. We were hanging out with a friend the other night and we were having just like a lovely evening, and anytime something a little kind of off or unstable kind of emerged into the system, we would just like name what was going on. I had this thought, I had this feeling, I had this impulse, and rather than being identified with all of that, we could name it, and then something about naming it just kind of settles into the system.
Just even the phrase, I'm aware of, I'm experiencing such and such, this wave of something has arisen through me, and I want to just name it out loud.
Right.
Even the tricky, challenging stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that just has this magical, alchemical effect to just settle things into the space and into the relational field. Really magical. That's a great one.
I think another piece that I find to really help create that internal sense of security is just like loving all the pieces that come up. You know, that sense of insecurity comes from this feeling of I'm going to be abandoned. And we usually have that story of I'm going to be abandoned onto, insert partner here.
Yeah.
But what if I commit to totally loving myself?
Not abandoning myself.
Not abandoning myself.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm just going to put a little advertisement in here for your videos. I think it's all about this. Your Compelling Bubble of Love videos are all about committing to and creating this sense of connection and love and security within your own being, yeah?
Yeah.
And she's videos are awesome. So that's one thing. So then we have the freedom piece. So
Yes.
how do I express myself, be true to myself, be authentic to myself, and not abandoned for the sake of this amazing goodness, which I'm tempted to do all the time. I've been tempted since day one, but I came into our connection with a really, really, really like high level commitment to not being committed. If I'm really honest, people said I had commitment issues, but I was like, no, I'm 100% committed to not being committed. And it was because I had done 20 years of committed relationship before meeting Lorina,
Right.
close to 20 years, where I had compromised my freedom. I had compromised myself, and there's always been a voice in my head, oh, what would they think? Is it okay with them? Am I is cross-checking and really on some deep, deep level abandoning myself for years of my life, and I needed to experience myself without that. So I came into this relationship with Lorina saying, look, I need to, even though this incredible love is building and this incredible desire to bond and go deeper, I was like every bit of my resources and devotion to listening to the deepest impulses in me, the most true ones. I was doing my best not to just let them be like the ego gone wild, but and I've succeeded to some degree on that and learned as I've gone, but the deep commitment to listening to a very, very, very refined impulse in there that says, this is my truth, and I need to do it, even at the cost of maybe losing you.
Right. And rejection, too. I think a big part of how you can hold that stance of freedom has been the willingness to be judged.
Yeah, willingness
and
to
rejected.
lose. A lot of things that our personality is wired up to want at all costs, like people's feedback, positive feedback, the love, the appreciation, and face judgment and aloneness in the face of like, this is my deep truth. I need to live that, you know? So that was a big driving commitment that we each came into this relationship with. And of course we've each done both of these, but I kind of held more of the freedom pole, and you held more of the security.
Ground.
And then from that foundation, there's just, again, this goes back to our last video where we talk about building a relationship organically. Then there's just been a life lived, interacted from that place.
That's organically grown into a relationship that integrates both freedom and security.
Yeah, so at this point, I can honestly say I feel 100% myself. I share everything with you. I share my
TMI.
and I am a very, very, very free human being. I mean, I on the level of expression, I'm pretty out there.
Yeah.
And I let myself stay true to that and share that with Lorina in a way that's like been scary as hell at times, and is in fact almost not made us, allowed us to stay together. There have been times where it's like really scary, like, wow, I really need to go live in Hawaii for a number of months this year. That's my truth. And, you know, that being really hard, and yet us being able to like work through that because of a commitment to just staying true to the truth of
your freedom. But also in terms of my sense of security, I broke out of serial monogamy, pretty intense codependent relationship about, what was that, 7 years ago? 6, 7 years ago? And coming out of that relationship, I had this mantra to myself. Nobody's responsible for loving me but me. Nobody's responsible for loving me but me. Nobody's responsible for loving me but me. Wow. And that what really broke me out of a codependent trance.
That's profound. And, you know, it's making me realize that I kind of had a similar mantra, which is nobody's responsible for my freedom but me. And not in a rebellious way. In fact, I had done kind of the abandoned self and then rebellious freedom. And that isn't the kind of freedom we're talking about. This is the kind of freedom where you just, I know what I need to be integrous to myself, and I'm willing to let life organize around that. Instead of I'm going to compromise that to keep the good stuff that I'm afraid to lose out there. And that's a huge thing. But I had a similar mantra to yours, which is I'm responsible for my own freedom. I don't, even if a person judges me or blames me or says I'm wrong, I have to stay true to the truth I know is important to my life.
And this is not to say that he's been an callous ass.
No.
It's like he can connect to what his authentic, true needs and
Good
impulses
point.
are, and still feel empathetic.
Very good point.
For whatever emotions might be showing up.
So that's a really good point to put in here. That when you have this ruthless devotion to your truth, it needs to be counterbalanced with a kind of attunement, a kind of love, a kind of care that doesn't just like say screw you. It's like, hey, this is what I really need to do. How is that for you? I'm attuning and I'm caring and I'm being compassionate and loving, but the bottom line, the scales are tipped in the direction of when I know it's true for me, I'm going to speak it, I'm going to share it, I'm going to be transparent with it, and if it's important enough to me, I'm going to need to actually live it and act on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've oriented Lorina around that from day one, so she's kind of chosen, okay, well, let's find out, let's discover, let's see if I can hang out with this guy, let's see where that goes, let's see if we are in alignment or not. And then we just take it step by step by step like that, and then what we've discovered is quite a cosmic, profound alignment where the net result 5 years later is two people who feel bloomed by this love that is both like, I feel 1,000% free, and I'm feeling very, very, very secure, like in a way that's not based on clinging or fear. It's just kind of like, it's just something I'm aware of. Like I just feel it like a like two stars orbiting in the sky.
Yeah, the security feels like just like, oh, this is our natural gravity. Yeah. When we are our two whole individual selves and then engage in a dance, then we've revealed this pattern of connecting that's just solid.
And it gets stronger and stronger and stronger is what it seems to be, no predicting the future, but that's the felt visceral experience. The trend has been this deepening of that kind of security, you could call it, but it's a very, very different kind of security. It's not one that we ever tried to create. It's not one we ever clung to or fixated on from any point. It's like the opposite. We've kind of like opened our hands and said, this is open, 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 and then somehow over time it has created this kind of like bowl into which we naturally are resting with each other. It feels like we're being held in something beyond us that is us. And in that bowl of, wow, I feel so held, I feel totally free to dance and be my crazy self and be loved for that, which is like miracle beyond miracles. Any last things you want to say before we transition for the day?
I think for me in my freedom pole, like I haven't fixated on it that much in the dance of our relationship, but I've given myself a lot of permission to be free in my life, and I think for me there's just this implicit awareness that like I was free to choose my entire path. Like I was free to choose those structures. I was free to feel stuck. I was free to do all the things that I did, even though I didn't feel free. But at this stage in my life, I'm recognizing my freedom is just inherent, implicit. Nobody could take it away. Wow. And so I'm free to make commitments and free to be solid as well.
Profound, Amy. You're rocking my world. Wow.
I don't need to prove my freedom. My freedom is just like,
even when we're choosing not to be free, we were free. That was our freedom expressing itself.
Yeah.
And when you grok that, it's like, wow, okay, I'm free to choose this moment fully. And I think that kind of in the moment authentic choice is the fertile ground for real love, where you feel I'm myself, and real love comes out of that. It's a spacious kind of love instead of a tight kind of love.
Did you want to wiggle around?
Yeah, and then when it's tight, some part of us, even if in the beginning it's like, woo, it feels so good, some part is going to want to rebel out of that later on, right?
Typically.
Yeah, for most people. I'm speaking. Definitely, I would. We know that much. All right. That was good. Good video for the day.
That's it for now.
That's it.
We're
We'll
gonna
see you soon.
follow
There'll be
that
a lot
thread
more
at
to
some
say
other
on
point.
this one.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, please write them down or talk to us or whatever it is. And we are available for sessions, obviously. That's our thing. And
till next time.
Till next time.
Thank you.